Ready, Jackie? Jackie, I have a question for you. You ready? Okay, so let's say we're solving an equation. Let's say we're solving an equation like this. I don't know, 7. Let's say we're solving that equation, okay, Jackie? How do you know when you're done?
By plugging in your answer and checking it.
Oh, that's what you said last time, Jackie.
Was I wrong?
Yeah. That's not how you know when you're done. That's how you know when you're right. Right. So when you have x equals like some number, then you're done. Now, Jackie, if you take your number and you plug it in and it's right, then you're right. But you're done when it's just by itself. Claro?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jacobo. How are you today?
You?
I'm good. So, last time we talked about how when you're solving, Ernesto, you do the order of operations backwards. So really, the trick is identifying like what's keeping the x from being by itself. Which operations are happening, and then you just got to do them backwards. You got to do SAD map. Sometimes angry, dumb monkeys eat poop. That's what it stands for. That's right. Okay, so Jacobo, we got a bunch of stuff. Check this out. I think everybody would say, oh, I got to subtract the 4 first, which is no problem. Subtract the 4 first is easy, right? So you're going to get the square root of 3x minus 1 equals 3. You know where I got the 3, Jackie? No? Where'd the 4 go, Jackie? I subtracted 3 both sides. That's right. Now this is where we're going to get in trouble, though, Yolanda. Is like I wish we didn't use PEMDAS. I wish we used some other acronym, because groups aren't always made with parentheses. Sometimes they're made with square roots. Hi, Alex. You gonna learn a little math today?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes groups like this are made with a square root. So you see the square root has everything inside of it, so I can't actually add 1 to both sides. I have to get rid of the square root first. Yeah. You see what I mean?
Why?
Because the 3x and the 1 are inside the group square root, so it's all in a group, Alex. It's a good question, Alex. I'm glad you're here. Maybe Jackie will pass. If you crack that whip and just say, you better get busy. Yeah. All right. So, Jackie, how do we get rid of square root? No, Evelyn, how do we get rid of square root? What do we got to do to get rid of square root? Don't know? Does Beartooth know? Well, in a way, but very specifically, you would square, which means multiply by itself. That's what you do. Right, Daniela? Mm-hmm. Hi, Daniela. How are you? Good. Now, Yolanda, you see the square root and the square, they cancel. And I could show you guys like mathematically why that's true, but it would take a while and it probably wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, not until the next class. In the next class, you're going to learn the math that will explain why that's true. So you'll just have to trust me. Alex, what's 3 squared?
9.
Oh, that's very good, Alex. Out. So now it's like we have this whole problem inside of the other problem. So we got like a whole bunch of stuff. So it's kind of like we're starting this whole thing over. Because now we got the group taken care of, and we have to start over with the whole SADMAP thing all once again. So we're going to have to add 1. I know, it's just like work and stuff, right? And so you got to add 1, both sides. Let's see here. We're going to use this color. So add 1, 3x equals 10, and then just divide by 3. And there's your answer. Yolanda, do I remember correctly that on Tuesday, all of our answers were just whole numbers? We didn't have any fractions, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah? Tried to make sure that most of the time they're fractions. Well, a lot of the time they're fractions. And that's okay. Fractions are your friend. Oh yeah, they are, sure. Okay, Alex. Whatever you say, Alex. Marlene, you see how that works? It's pretty tricky, right? I mean, you have to go through the whole thing, and then you got to go through the whole thing again because of the group. You want to try one, Jacobo?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, you try this one. A little simpler, okay? A little simpler. Let's try solve for x again. Or do you want to use a different letter, Jacobo?
No, this is good.
X is good?
Yeah.
All right, well, just roll with the x. All right, so let's say solve for x. Let's try this one right here. Let's try 5x más 7 equals 4. Hi, Oscar.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. Best day ever. Right, Yolanda?
Yeah.
Most
I was
stress-free,
about to ask you, how was
normal
your
day
day?
ever. It was all drama. You can ask your sister about it. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
she basically was like, completely wrong.
That's just because she wanted to go home. She
I
wasn't
was
scared.
like, why? I was like, what's your excuse if you want to go home? She's like, there's a rumor they're going to shoot up the school. I was like, you too? I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I was already there.
All right, Jackie. Got to get this one. Got to get this one. You see how you got a group inside the square root? You just saw how to get rid of square root. You got this, right, Jacobo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're a math gangster. You're gonna get math tattooed on your knuckles, huh? Math.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, math god. With 2 O's, that'd be good. That'd be math good. So you got it right, Jacobo? Yeah?
Is it?
I don't know. Yeah, that's right, actually, yeah, it is. Yeah. And I like that you left it as a fraction, that's good. Did you get it, Evelyn? Okay, Evelyn. You just chilling, Alex? Waiting for what? Oh, just don't want to go home? Let's see. Beartooth, you got this? What'd you get? That's what Jacobo got. Is that what Daniela got? Did you get what your brother has? Yeah? Cool. What'd you get, Marlene?
Creo que no sé.
Killing it, Yolanda.
Yes. No pun intended.
Oh, I know, right? I think you're starting to gain momentum. You're finding your math.
No, I think you.
Yeah.
Once you start getting things right, it's like, oh, that feels good. And then when you get one wrong, you're like, I got this. I fix it.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I have a question. And this one, when it's like that, do you have to square root first or do you distribute?
We'll do that one next.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, Beartooth, you said that the answer was x equals 9/5. Is that right?
No, I don't know. I mean.
But you thought, maybe. You hope. Right. It might be wrong. That's okay if it's wrong. If it's wrong, that just gives us an opportunity to learn. Okay? All right. Oh. Hey, Eileen. Check this out. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. He said something kind of interesting. It was kind of powerful. He said that every day we should do something for ourselves tomorrow. Every day you should do something that you would thank yourself tomorrow for doing. So tomorrow, you'll look back on today and be thinking, I'm glad I did that. Because most of the time, we're just trying to serve ourselves for right now, making ourselves happy. Doing homework would be one of those things if you're trying to pass a math class, but that wasn't actually why I brought it up. But it would be an example of that. All right. Eileen, I want to check this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug it in. Yeah? I'm going to put it right there in the parentheses, right? Right, Ernesto? I'm going to take my answer, well, your answer, and I'm going to plug it in and see if it's true. And the reason I'm checking this is to help you guys remember how fractions work. That's a whole number, that's a fraction, put a 1 under it, reduce. So this is 1 times 9, 9 plus 7, let's see if that equals 4. That's the square root of 16. That is 4. That's true. Vato. We're good to go. Yeah. See, Alex, you are a good friend, not like Jackie said, and you're helping her. I know. You're all right. You're all right. I told you what Miss Burkett said about you last semester. I told her that you were in my class, and she said right away, she's like, oh, I like Alex.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yeah. All right. So, to get it, you have to square both sides first, right? And that gives you 5x plus 7 equals 16. That's the part that's tricky, is how to get rid of the square root. Yeah? Okay. Jacobo, you said, was it, I don't know, was it plus 2 or minus 2? Minus 2 squared, and then a number here, right? Uh-huh. 25? Oh boy. Oh boy. Beartooth, this one's ugly. Yolanda, did you get this one, do you think? I think it was one of the ones from the book. I think it was one of the ones from the book, yeah. Did you get it? Daniela, did you get it or did you get stuck? You didn't get it? Oh.
No, I didn't do that one on homework.
Okay. She might have picked an extra. I don't know which number it is. Yeah. This one's kind of ugly. It is ugly. So let's see if we can make sense of it. Jackie, word of advice. Look, I would really advise if you're struggling or you see something that's all ugly like this, write down PEMDAS. It just gives you the structure. Because this is the steps you're going to use. You're going to do order of operations backwards. Right? So after that, I mean, that keeps right in front of your mind what you're going to do and when. You're going to do the opposite of everything you see. That's why we do it backwards. So when I look at it, like look, where does this 3 fit in PEMDAS? Where does this 3 go? M. It's multiplying. That's right. Cal's favorite math. Huh. Where's this 2 go inside of the PEMDAS? Like, how's it fit? Yeah. And the same with the exponent too, right?
Yeah.
But this one's subtracting for outside. You see? So I know there's 3 2's. That gets confusing, right, Oscar? So this 2 right here, I'm gonna draw a dotted line. That 2's right there, you see? This 2 is an exponent, it's right there, and this 2 is inside a group. So this tells you the order in which you have to get rid of all those numbers, and the 3 is going to be in the middle. Does that make sense, Daniela? That's the hard part. That's the trick, figuring out how this works. If you can figure out how this works, then the whole thing's going to be pretty easy. If you miss it, if you get this part right, and you get the problem wrong, you just made a silly mistake, and that's not going to wreck your grade. That's just a silly mistake. I mean, that's how most of us get here on this planet anyway. Right, Jackie? Mm-hmm. Mostly just mistakes. If you were born in November, you're a Valentine's mistake.
Oh, I'm not though.
Okay.
I'm not.
Hashtag math. Marlene! Never mind, I'm not even going to ask. Because if your birthday was in November, then it would seem like an insult, and I didn't mean. Yeah.
When's your birthday?
Really? That's funny. Seriously? Oh, wow. Okay. We're going to add 2 first, see? So we're going to do the opposite of this, so that means we're going to add 2 because that would make 0. So we'd get, because what we're really doing is we're adding 2 to both sides of the equation. Yes, Eileen? Okay, Eileen. All right. Now, That's done. Next up is the division. Do you see how this like gives you all the structure? So you just got to do it. The hard part, filling that out. Beartooth, you ever see that before? Yeah? Okay. Opposite of times 3, divide by 3. The way we divide by 3 is we either multiply by the reciprocal, or we can just do it like this if we want. Either way is fine. Marlene, there's something kind of tricky over here. See this 3 and the x minus 2 squared? It's all together as one thing. And so we can divide like that. But like if it was something different, if it was something like this equals 27, if we were going to divide by 3, we'd actually have to do every term. But because this is multiplication right there, this works fine. Okay, x minus 2, a square, 9. We good, Oscar?
Don't you put the square root sign on top of that to get rid of the exponent?
I will. But for sure, for now, we're just getting rid of the 3. Yeah. So that's next. So we got this 2 gone, got the 3 gone. Now we're going to get that exponent gone. And you are absolutely correct. We're going to do square root, both sides. There's really 2 answers to this. There's a plus 3, there's a minus 3. But for our class, for right now, we're just going to go with the plus 3. Because negative 3 squared is also 9. Good, Jackie? Yeah? Somewhat? Hey, Huckle, but what minus 2 is 3? You had some money. You forgot how much money you had. You spent $2. You got $3 left. How much did you have? $5. That's $5. Hashtag. Doing good, Marlene? Yeah, good. You having a good day? Yeah? Okay, good. Good. All right, Jackie. That's an ugly problem. I mean, how many steps was there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and figuring out how to do them was the tricky part. That's pretty ugly. All right. Today, what we're going to do, I'm going to give you guys some tricky problems like this to solve. They're tricky. They're tricky. They won't be this long. They'll be much shorter, but they're going to be ugly. Ugly. They're going to make you sad. Sadder than like a kitten outside in the rain on Christmas Eve. Sad. Oh, it's sad, right, Alex? It's sad. So here's our first one. I want you to try it. Listen, I'm not going to give you a bunch of time to like just be stuck and frustrated. Go as far as you can, and then in a few minutes we'll do it together. Come on, Marlene. Oh, welcome back. Bastion, the desperate. And Bastion is like castle. So yeah, so what it means is like when all you have is hope, you have nothing. It's not a good saying. It's not saying hope is good. It's saying hope is bad.
When all you have to do is hope, there's nothing to it.
Right. And it's what desperate people do. They hope.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you before you were going to take this class. You were desperate.
Yes.
You're like, you gotta help me pass that class. You gotta help me pass the placement test. You were desperate. You had no hope. I do.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have any confidence.
That's right.
Because when you have nothing, that's all you have left. So I'm happy that you're doing well. Because now you're confident.
I'm glad to hear too.
Yeah, it's going well. Yeah. Okay. Oscar, did you get this one or did you get stuck? Think you got it? Okay. What about you? Ernesto, did you get it or did you get stuck? Got stuck? What about Jacobo?
I just did it. I followed the steps, but I'm not sure if it's right.
-1's right.
Is it?
Yeah, here's why I know. Check it out. Yeah. Check this out. Here's how I know. Like, we did this problem today. You guys need to put your phones away. Look, Marlene. Nothing there is going to be on your test, and this is tricky. You did really good. All right, thank you, Marlene. So, Daniela, we did this one today in class at the high school, and I did it with my honors freshman class, and like a bunch of them got it, but a bunch of them got tricked. But then we started thinking about it, and then like look, this says 3 is equal to something plus 8. So the question really is like this. It's like, what plus 8 is 3? So what plus 8 is 3? -5. Right? -5. Do you see? If this entire thing equaled -5, then these would make 3. Right? Okay, so then this thing right here, this thing has to be -5. So what number would x have to be so that this equals -5? -1. So without even doing inverse operations, if you got totally stuck and you got confused, I think you could think your way through that problem. Like without math, just with thinking about it. Okay, let's see the math. Ready? Oh yeah, Alex is like, I love math. Math is my friend. Okay, Alex. This is weird. Here's the thing. This is why I wanted to talk about this problem. So here's the thing. What to do when x is in the denominator? That's tricky. Yeah? Man. You ready, Ernesto? Do you know what to do when x is in the denominator? No? Man. Check it out. I'm gonna do some wrong things, okay? This is wrong. These are common mistakes. These are things that people do wrong all the time. So, Jacobo obviously didn't do them wrong because he got it right. So, let's see here. 5. So the first step I'm going to do is right. There we go. This first step is right. Subtracting 8. Okay, so that gives you -5 equals 5 over x. That's okay so far. Okay, no problems. The next thing I'm going to do is wrong. But this is what people do all the time. They're like, oh, the 5 is there, I have to divide by 5. Or they say I have to multiply by 5 because it's the opposite of division. So what they do is they do this. And they get -25 equals x. And that's totally wrong. Totally wrong. That's like wrong as wrong can be. Yeah. Yeah. Here's why it's wrong. Look at this part right here. 5 over x. If I were going to take 5 over x and multiply by 5, that's really 5 over 1. This really equals 25 over x. It doesn't equal x. You see? That's not right. So here's the other wrong thing that people do. Here's the other wrong thing. We'll start from this part right here, okay, Daniela? Like, we're going to start from here. Most people can get this far. So people say, okay, well, I can't multiply by 5, it doesn't work. So I'm going to divide by 5. So here's what they do. They go, I'm going to divide by 5, and that's 1/5. Okay, and then that's 1/5. Because the way you divide is to multiply by the reciprocal. Like, here's what I'm saying. If I wanted to divide by 5, like this right here, that would be times 1/5. And that's true. So that's what they're going to do. And then here's what happens. Here's what they do. They say, okay, this equals -1, right? And they say this equals x. Now, it turns out that's the right answer, but it's totally wrong, and they got lucky. Most of the time, it's not going to work out. Because here's why. This is wrong right here. This is not true. This does not equal x. See, look, 5 over x times 1 over 5. Those 5's would reduce, and it's really equal to 1 over x, not x. Totally different. Do you see? Jacobo, so if this was not a 5 here, if this was a 2,
Yeah.
then it'd be totally wrong. Did you get it right because you got lucky, or did you get it right because you did it right?
No, I think I did it right.
All right. You're restoring my faith in humanity, Jacobo. Okay, so let's do it right now. You ready? Okay. So here's the right way. Here's the right way. Okay, so subtracting 8, no problem. You might make a mistake with your sign, but I think everybody can do that part. The thing is, this is really 5 divided by x. Now, I want to get rid of the x. What I have to do is I have to multiply by x over 1, both sides. And then I get -5x equals, those x's reduce, equals 5. And then I can divide. Is that what you did, Jacobo?
Yeah.
Yeah? Míralo. 5 divided by -5 is -1. Marlene, my wife's boss, he's really smart. He's old, but he's smart. And he worked for NASA in the 60s. He was a rocket scientist. And he was telling me that when he went to college, one of his classes, one of these physics classes he took, the final exam was 1 question. And he showed up and he took the test, and it was really hard. It took him like 2 hours, and he turned it in, and he had the right answer, and he got a 0 because he got totally lucky getting the number. But everything he did was wrong. That would be kind of like this. Got lucky, it's the right answer. But if this number was changed, this number would be totally wrong. So, lucky. Yeah. All right. Hey, Marlene, I got a weird question for you. You ready? No? Okay, here we go. What's motivation?
Motivation?
Yeah, what's motivation? It's hard to say, huh? Like, you know, like everybody I think knows what motivation is. You know what it is, right, Jackie? But it's hard to say what it is. Motivation is like a desire that pushes you to do something. Usually pushes you to do something that's kind of difficult. Right, Ernesto? Would you agree with that? Yeah. Would you agree with that too, Alex?
What?
Motivation is like a desire, a drive that makes you do something. Right. Like we're motivated to work because we need money. Right? Usually. Here's my question for you, though. How many types of motivation are there? There's exactly 2. No, there's just 2. There's 2 kinds, and that's it. There's intrinsic motivation, and there's extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is something you already have. It's something you're already interested in. So you would be interested in working for money because you're interested in the money. Maybe for bad reasons, because you're afraid of not paying your bills or something, right? You're interested in something, and so you're going to work, you're going to do something difficult because that's the reward is something you're already interested in. Like cookies. Ernesto, if I were to say, hey, I will give you this delicious cookie if you just put your name on this paper, you'd be like, that seems like a fair deal, right? Because you're interested in cookies. But some people don't like cookies. So a cookie's not an enticement. It won't motivate them. Like canned dog food. You like eating canned dog food, Bobo?
No.
Me either. Well, I don't think. I've never had it, but you know. So canned dog food would not motivate you to do any work. If I asked Ernesto, hey, will you write your name on this same piece of paper for some fresh canned dog food? Yeah, probably not, because you're not motivated by canned dog food, right? But the key thing with intrinsic motivation is that it's something you already have. It's just how you are, what you're made up from. Like, there's things that Alex is interested in that Jacobo would not be interested in. And
Most likely.
yeah, most likely. And the things that you're interested in that he's not, he doesn't understand why you like them, and vice versa. The things he likes to do that you might not like to do, they probably don't make any sense, right? That's just because we're all different. So intrinsic motivation is something you have. It's something you're born with. It's not something somebody else can give you, right? Extrinsic motivation is a motivation that comes from outside of you. And there's only one kind. There's only one thing that's an extrinsic motivation, and that's fear. Fear. People can be motivated by fear. So as a teacher, there's only one motivation a teacher can provide, and that is a motivation of fear. The problem with that, Jackie, is when you're afraid, you don't think. And that's kind of counterproductive in a classroom, isn't it? Yeah. So either, the point is this: I can't motivate you to do well. I can't motivate you to try practice problems. I can't motivate you to do homework. I can't motivate you to focus. It's beyond my abilities, especially if you're over the age of about 13 or 14. Can't do it. Can't motivate another person after sometime around that 13 to 14 age group to do something that they don't want to do. So either you're going to find your reasons to do what you need to do to pass the class, or you're not. It's all you. Right, Jackie?
Right.
Okay, Jackie. Extrinsic motivation is fear. Yeah, that's a mom's favorite tool, right? Your little child is going to misbehave, you better stop that or else. Right. Yeah. Or else I'm going to get you. All right, Ernesto. Ernesto, this one was kind of ugly, huh?
I got stuck right there.
Right here. Yeah, I know. That's why I gave you guys the problem, actually. Let's try one that's similar. You ready, Alex? There we go. Mm-hmm. Now look. I want to give you a chance to figure it out on your own. This one is very, very similar to this one. The only clue I'll give you is that you got to remember that sometimes fractions make groups. See if you can get it. See if you can figure it out. I'm not going to ask you to struggle with it forever. I'll give you like 2 minutes. If you can't figure out what to do in 2 minutes, then I'll help you out, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, Yaki?
Okay.
I still think that looks like a deodorant can.
I got told today it looks like a hairspray can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
Come on, Jack.
You want me to dye my hair? It's a sharpening.
Did you get it, Marlene? No? Oh. Maybe? Oh. Really, there's kind of a nasty trick about this one, Marlene. But I'm hoping you can figure out the first step. How many of you guys think you got the first step? Crickets. Crickets. Okay. Here's the thing. Let's see here. Let me see if I can help you out. Let's do our whole PEMDAS thing here, Yolanda. We're going to do that SADMET thing backwards, right? Where's the 2 go? In here. That's the trick. That's the confusing part. Because I'm looking at it, I'm thinking it either goes here, or I don't know where. Why would it go here? It is in a group, and they're right. That's where that -2 goes. But the thing is, it's in a group with the x. The whole thing is there. And you know how we multiplied both sides by x here? Like that? That's what we're going to do here. We're going to multiply both sides by x minus 2. That's the first step. There's a nasty trick after that. We're not even going to worry about that. I want to make sure we got that step right first. Ernesto, if this wasn't a 0, the nasty trick wouldn't be here in this problem. If this was any other number, we'd have no nasty trick. It's not even a nasty trick. It's just kind of a weird thing that happens. There's no answer to this equation. Because, here's why. This reduces, right? X minus 2 divided by x minus 2 is just... Is it getting brighter and darker when I move my hand? Whoa, that's weird. Illuminati confirmed. 3, right? Yeah? You good, Oscar? Okay. But Oscar, 0 times anything is 0, right? And that's what's called a contradiction. That's false. 3 doesn't equal 0. We didn't make a mistake. All our math is right. When you have, this is called a contradiction. When you get something that's false, here's what it means. That's what it means. It means there's going to be no solution.
So, if we get that problem on a quiz, we just leave that like that?
You would write
We have
this.
to write
Here's
no
what you would write. You would write that. That would be your answer. Yeah, don't stop here, because that doesn't tell me you know what it is. Yeah, no solutions.
Check this out.
Not right now. Not right now. We're oh, you can tell. But, after. What's the matter, Daniela? What's the matter? Okay, Daniela. Daniela, you good with this? Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. Let's try a different one that's not got an ugly trick. Ready? Yeah? Okay. Let's try, I'll try to see if I can make an easier one too. Let's do 18. Oh yeah, let's try that one. What is it, Alex? What is it, Alex? You catch the shooter, Alex?
Yeah.
Is it your sister?
Something my sister would say.
Yeah. At least, yeah, right.
That is horrible, Mr. Brown.
There's no shooter. Whoa. Is that one of those? I don't think so. It's not like a computer turning on, right?
Yeah.
It's a ghost.
What's that?
Probably a ghost in it.
A ghost?
Yeah.
Now somebody next door to where my wife works died yesterday at the restaurant. Yeah, they probably saw the bill or something. I don't know, but really they died. And, yeah, so maybe that place is now haunted.
Where's your wife?
Green Valley, next, like that's like. I told my daughter, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's like heaven's waiting room."
Oh my god.
Yeah. But Oscar knows that's true, right? Green Valley's heaven's waiting room. Do you remember when somebody drove through the other Safeways, the entrance? Did you know about it?
I knew about it.
Yeah. And then they sued Safeway because they shouldn't have had parking spots in the front. They drove all the way over the parking barrier and into the store.
What's the barrier?
Yeah, there were just the curbs, and now they put up the big pillars. Yeah. It's dangerous up there driving. It is. It's dangerous. It is, right? It's crazy. You're like, tell me how many times in the parking lot you've almost gotten hit today. Right, it happens a lot.
I mean, you always hear on the intercom, like somebody paid just for a car and like their license plate number. So that mostly means that somebody ran into something.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Or someone. It's pretty common stuff.
Yeah. It's crazy. Okay. Well, Jackie, did you get this?
No.
Jackie, when I'm looking at this one, like, it's 18 divided by a number, right?
Yeah.
X plus 2 is just a number. That's a shift. It's hard to see that whole thing, I'll highlight it. It's hard to see that this entire thing right here is a number, but that's just one number. Because it's in a group. It makes it one number. So 18 divided by a number, and the answer is 3. Right, Ernesto? What does it have to be? What's this number have to equal? 18 divided by what is 3? Yeah, say it. Go ahead. 6. This has to be 6. The whole thing, right? Because 18 divided by 6 is 3. This thing has to be 6.
So X would be 4.
So X has to be 4. So X has to be 4. You can do it that way if you want.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? And now that you show it that way, right? I know. Oh, yeah. I tried to show you guys that like a week ago, but I think it was just too much.
Right.
It's the box thing.
I never got that.
I know.
Until now.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah. So now it's like, oh, I see what you
And I
mean.
got it last week, but not today.
Okay. Now let's say we didn't recognize that. Here's how we would do the math, like the algebra. We'd multiply both sides by x plus 2, and we get 18 equals 3 times x plus 2. Daniela, anytime you have to make a choice in math, it gets tricky. And we have a choice to make right now. We could distribute the 3 to both of those, right? Or we could divide. And it won't matter. You're going to get the same answer. I think we talked about this last week. Jackie, if this number will divide into 18, then that's easier. But if it doesn't go into 18, if that number won't divide, it's going to give you a fraction, so it's probably better to distribute. You can get the same answer either way. So I'm going to just go ahead and divide, because it goes in. 6 equals x plus 2. You see that? 4 equals x. You subtract. What if grasshoppers had guns? Oh yeah. If grasshoppers had guns, birds would be screwed. Yeah, because birds eat grasshoppers, and a bird's going to swoop down to get a grasshopper. That grasshopper's going to just give it to him. No. I know. All right, Ernesto, I'm sorry. Your question was this, right?
Yeah.
What if, instead of doing this step, dividing, what if you distributed, right? Same thing. More steps, though. Look, you're going to multiply. Okay. Then you're going to subtract. And then 3 times 4 is 12. So, yeah. Same thing either way. Marlene, you look super excited. You all right, Marlene? You're tired? Yeah. That's what happens when you get old. Yeah. I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying it happens when you get old. All right. Ay, ay, ay. What's your question, Yolanda?
Can you move it over? I need to see that process.
So this way
Yeah.
or this way, both work. Now this way we used because 3, this number would go into 18. So that makes it a little easier.
Oh,
Does that make sense, Ernesto?
Yeah.
It's $10.
okay.
I got news. When's spring break? Next week's not spring break.
I mean, next week.
The week after.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
In 15 more days.
So look, Jackie, we have to have midterm. We're going to have a midterm. The only question is, are we going to do it before spring break or after spring break? Yeah, why before?
Because after spring break, we're not going to remember anything.
If you don't study, that's true.
I don't think any of us.
What about you, Yolanda? What do you think, before or after?
I think before. That way we can really enjoy the spring.
That would be my motivation. It wouldn't even be the forgetting. It would be like, I don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
You want to come back and study because
All stressed out over spring break because the midterm is coming. No.
That means that next Thursday is going to have to be a week from today. Next Thursday is going to be your midterm. Okay?
Next Thursday.
That's right, a week from today. Today's Thursday, right?
Yes.
it's a Thursday to remember.
It's a Thursday to forget.
Is the 8th.
You think so?
Yeah, the 8th. Yeah. So, you know what's going to be on your midterm? This. Square roots, exponents, fractions. Solving equations.
Wait, is it everything from chapter 1?
Yep. Everything. Everything. So Oscar, here's what I would suggest. Like, you did pretty good on the quiz, on the first quiz, right? Well, you knew how to do most things. You really only had trouble with one topic. Vaya con Dios, Alex.
There is no guy.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so like, for example, I was using Oscar as an example. He did pretty good overall. He had one thing he wasn't very good at, and that's how a lot of you guys were. So I would make sure I studied that one thing. I would review all of it just to refresh your memory. I'd practice. Sometimes it's a good idea to just take your old quiz and rewrite the problems and then put it away, and then try them again. And then the same with the homework. Like, write down old homework questions or examples from class and try them on your own to study. That's how you study math. You have to try problems. Eileen, you don't want it to be this kind of situation where you sit down to take a test and that's the first time you try that kind of problem. Because you're screwed if that's the case. That's when you get desperate. Because all you have is hope. Because you can't do it. Right, Jackie?
Right.
Okay, Jackie. Let's see. I got another one for you. Another problem we're going to do. Ready? So, X a square. I know that's not how you say squared in Spanish, but it's Spanglish, and it sounds funny to me. X a square minus 5 divided by x equals x más 4. Dang. I'll help you out with this one, Ernesto. We'll do this one together. Ready? It's going to be like a picnic. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Jackie, I have a question for you again. When are you done solving an equation?
When X is alone.
Yeah, that's right. You're my favorite student. That a girl. Yeah. When X is by itself, and this one's really tricky because when I look at it, I have an X, and I have an X squared. Oh God, kill me now. Ernesto, you can't let these problems bully you. You can't get emo over them. We got to just take charge. So what we're going to do, we might not even know what to do, but we can do something. So do something that you know is true. And so when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing like this ugly side over here is being divided by x. So if nothing else, we can at least multiply by x. Now, Yolanda, I know that that's going to lead us to the right answer because I did the problem. But before I did the problem, I wouldn't know. So I'm going to put parentheses over here, though, because we have to multiply this entire side by x, the whole thing, all of it. That reminds me of my favorite reindeer. You know which was my favorite reindeer, Evelyn?
No.
Olive.
Olive?
Olive. Olive is my favorite reindeer. You know the song, right?
Sing it for us.
Where they say Olive the other reindeer? I'm sorry. I know, Oscar. I'm sorry. It's
Okay.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
I know, it's embarrassing. I only tell those jokes for reactions. I get reactions out of that one. Especially when people don't get it right away. And then they're like singing the song, and then they hear it, and it's funny. Yeah. Okay, Jackie. Jackie, you see how I put in pink the parentheses? It's because I have to multiply this entire side, the whole thing, times x. So I got the whole thing there. Now these x's over here, like I multiplied by x over 1, those reduce and those just make 1. And so you're just left with x squared minus 5. But over here, I have to distribute. Yolanda, I'm going to just go ahead, I'm going to take that x, I'm going to multiply it like this, I'm going to multiply like that. I know, right? Oh, man. Jacobo, this is really tricky. I understand this is tricky. This is not like super easy. This is difficult. So if you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm confused, that looks too difficult, that's good. That means you're right where you should be. It is difficult and confusing. That's why we're doing it together. We'll be able to do this. All right. Now, Ernesto, x times x. I'm not very good at math, but I think x squared is x times x. All right. And I think that that's just going to be 4x. Do you see? What do you notice about what we have there now? There's 2x squared, one on each side, right? You see how this is a plus x squared and that's a plus x squared? What I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract x squared from both sides. I'm going to subtract x squared, subtract x squared. We're about to have a Disney moment. You know, in Disney movies, everything looks like, you know, great peril. And everything's going to just go to hell really fast. And then some miracle happens, and oh, it's fantastic and fine. That's what we're about to have. In math that's made for students to learn, there's always Disney moments. The problems are set up so that they work out easy. They're going to look difficult, they're going to work out easy. Like this, because that's 0. And this is 0. So you're left with negative 5 equals 4x. Now you just have one step. You have to divide. Negative 5 over 4 equals x. D-O-N-E, finished. Yeah, that's an ugly problem. Yolanda doesn't like this problem. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I understand. It's ugly and it's tricky and it's weird. But sometimes, so on the scale of solving equations, right? We started off here, and I think you guys are somewhere in between or here and here, 5 and 6. But the only way we got from here to here is by trying stuff that was a little above where you were at. And so this is probably an 8. You're not there yet, but then you start to be familiar with some of the things that make this easy, and then that might move you from this 5.5 to the 6. That's how it works. I got a game plan, Ernesto. Okay, Ernesto, last one I want you to try. You ready? Let's do, A good one. Oh my God. Wait, what's the opposite of square root?
Exponent.
Uh-huh. What if they're both square roots? Ugh. What happens when you square a square root?
Yeah, do it to the other side too.
Yeah, but when you square a square root, so you do it to one side, you got to do it to the other.
Uh-huh.
But what happens to the square root when you square it?
Disappears.
It goes away. So this one, the square root's going to go away when you square both sides. And then it's not going to turn out to be too difficult. Yeah.
So would it be x equals 4x plus y?
Right. So wait, we could also think about it this way, Ernesto. Hey, the square root of this equals the square root of that. They're both square roots, so this has to equal that. The square root of this equals the square root of that. So square root's the same as square root. In order for these two things to be equal, x has to equal 4x plus 5. Or we could do it like this. Now, I don't know, Yolanda, did we talk about it last time? That if you have like x's on each side of the equal sign, the easiest way to do it is to move the smaller one? That's what we got here. The thing that's going to be confusing is when you move that 1x, what's going to be left? What's that?
When you move what?
When you move the x, we're going to subtract x from both sides.
Yeah.
Like this, right? What's left over here on the left? What's that?
Nothing.
What's nothing?
Well, would it be 1?
It would be 0. Something minus itself is 0. 3x plus 5. So here's what I would say. Don't forget the 0. Because if you forget the 0, then you don't even know what to do. You're kind of stuck. You're like, equals 3x plus 5. How can you take 5 away from But it's 0 equals 3x plus 5. You can take 5 away from 0, you get negative 5. Yeah? But not, like, here's what everybody always writes. They always write equals 3x plus 5, and then that's not even an equation. That's not, like, what? There's not even anything there. Right. This is the amount of hope you have of passing if you don't do homework. Wow. Wow, did you see that? Whoa. Right, Jackie? That's right, Jackie. Jackie, got your back. Way back. Did you get it? Yeah, and you got it too, Oscar? Hopefully? Hopefully. Oscar, you need more confidence. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. You know what you get confidence from? It builds on success. And so what sometimes people do, I'm just saying about math, but it's in life too. And I don't know you, so I don't know if you're confident outside of this or not. But I do know that people that don't have a lot of confidence, they downplay their small successes. The things they do well, they say, oh, that's not a big deal. But small successes are powerful because they're little, but they add up. And all those successes are things that you can build confidence from. You don't get confidence from somebody telling you you're good. You get it from being good. True story. All right. So, did you get this right here, Oscar?
Yes.
Yeah? Did you get that, Yolanda? No?
I just waited for you to
Oh, okay. Did you get it, Jackie?
Why is it?
Why is it? What's your question, Daniela? Why is it negative? Porque sí. Now watch.
Wait.
What?
I don't get
What's the answer? Because it's
Negative 5 over 3. Uh-huh. Because look, you see we're going to get rid of the... Okay.
Oh, we weren't done yet.
No. We haven't solved for x.
Oh, I see.
Hey, Jackie, when are we done solving for x?
Oh. Thank you.
Yolanda was probably wondering why I asked that question all the time.
Yes.
There's a good reason. It's a good reason. I know what people get confused by. Yeah.
How did you get negative 5?
Well, the pen I was using is magic, and it has all the answers. So I just have to, if I can close my mind and write, it just works. Or this too. This works too. So inverse operations, like check it out. The 3 is multiplying and the 5 is adding. So I have to do all of that backwards. Normally you multiply before you add, but when we're solving, we go backwards. We do side map, right? So I have to get rid of the 5 first by subtracting. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Yeah? Now the 3 is multiplying. I have to do the opposite of that, which is division. What do you think, Evelyn? Seems okay. Always seems okay when somebody else does it, doesn't it? Yeah, I always felt really, especially when I was taking a math class that was really hard. When somebody else would do it, I felt pretty comfortable. Yeah. I also feel pretty comfortable when somebody else is changing a dirty diaper. I feel pretty comfortable. You know? I feel really comfortable when my wife does the dishes. I feel real comfortable. You know? Yeah, feel real comfortable. She feels real comfortable when there's a dead mouse in a mousetrap and I get rid of it. She feels real comfortable. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's take a step back. Let's try one that is going to be more similar to what you're going to see. You are going to see stuff like that, but like on the scale of like, well, on a quiz you're going to have some easy, some medium, and some difficult. We've been doing a lot of really difficult stuff. So now let's do some medium and see. Okay? So let's try 3. Let's try 3. You guys help each other out. So the instructions are going to be solve for G, because there was a fake shooter at school today. G for gun. You ready, Marlene? Good. Oh, don't let the signs mess you up. Please don't let the signs mess you up. Whoa. What was that?
Sorry.
What was that? Are you possessed? Is that demonic possession? What's our last problem going to be, Daniela? Should we do one like you asked about?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking. I want the answer to work out easy, so I'm trying to think of what this should equal. I know that seems like a bigger number than you're used to, but I did it like that because it's going to work out easy. Gotta trust me, Jackie. I've been doing this a long time, Jackie. I think this is going to be our last 3 problems of the day. Let's see. Hi, Carrie.
Excuse.
Hmm. Oh. Danielle, you see how I was supposed to do G's and I put an X on the last one? Oops.
So those are the types of problems that are gonna be on the midterm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you handle those, Jacobo?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you can too.
Just need to memorize it.
Yeah, just practice. That's all right.
Yeah.
Jacobo, what's 125 divided by 5? Is it 25?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the square root of 25?
5.
5. Oh. Okay. Oh, man. Wait, 3 problems and 5 answers? Oh, this is terrible. Yolanda, that would be really funny if I gave you something like that on your midterm where I gave you some problems and a bunch of answers and then you had to match them.
Yeah.
Especially if there were more answers than possible. And what if one of the answers could be repeated?
No más queda algo.
Yeah. Oh, and what if I gave you this?
Oh no.
Oh, that would be rude, right? Man, Jackie.
Yes.
Jackie, one of my most important jobs is to assign appropriate grades. So it's really important that I know how well you know these things, right? So if I were to do something like that, it wouldn't be to be mean or to trick you. It would be to make sure that you're not getting a lucky guess. And if you know, you don't need a lucky guess. Right. Oh. So, Yolanda, where do you think A goes?
A is 4.
Yeah, G equals 4.
And neither.
You think it doesn't fit anywhere?
That's right.
Okay. So, she thinks G
Oh,
doesn't...
wait. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's over here. It goes on number 3.
Number 3. So you think 4, G equals 4 is the answer for 3.
Yeah.
Okay, let's find out. Ready? So she thinks this goes there. So I'm going to plug it in and check. So 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Minus 1, 124. Roof is not my son, but I will raise it.
So you just plug in 5 times 1 and 5, and then because it's your square root, you would be 25.
Oh, so you're talking about when you're solving it? Yeah. So you would add 1,
But I don't think.
and that would make that 125. Divide by 5 makes it 25. Then you take the square root to get rid of that. I'll show you. Watch. Are you good with that? Okay, and then good with that? Because you have to divide by 5, both sides. Yeah.
You wouldn't solve. You wouldn't like plug in like 5G plus 5.
No, you want to get rid of that 5 right there. And you can't, actually here, you can't distribute because you would have to square first. You can't distribute here at all. You have no choice. You have to divide. Oh yeah, I'm glad I see what you're questioning. That's a good question. Yeah. Okay. And then you take the square root. So G is 4. Yolanda, that was the hardest question in the whole. Out of the 3, by far the most difficult.
Right.
All right. Now this might be an answer for another one too. Those are the rules of the game. Oscar, where do you think this goes? Yeah, where's it go?
B goes into number 1.
I know I was being silly. I'm sorry. so he thinks that G is 1 for number 1. The answer is G equals 1 for number 1. And let's see. If G was 1, that would be 3 minus 7. And that does equal negative 4, so I agree. Yep.
It wouldn't be a negative.
If it was negative, then this would be negative 3 minus 4. That would make, it would be negative 3 minus 7. That would make negative 10, not negative 4. So this is right. Daniela, where do you think C goes? Nowhere? Doesn't fit. Okay. Do you guys agree with her?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. Jacobo, where does this go?
Nowhere.
Nope, nowhere. What about this one then?
2.
So you
Oh,
think
wait, never mind. No, nowhere. No.
nowhere? Okay, then does this one fit too?
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah. What is the answer for number 2?
13 over 3.
13 over 3.
Yeah. That's what I got. Or I got 5.
5?
Went the other way.
Huh. I got a question for you, Jacobo. You ready? 3 times what equals 12?
4.
4. This has to be 4. So what minus 1 is 4? What number does this have to be so that this entire thing equals 4? 5. It's 5. Wow, 5. Did you get that one yet, right, Yolanda? Dang, so you were 3 for 3? Dang.
But I did have to look at my notes.
Well, that's okay. That's why they're there.
Mm-hmm.
You're learning, so that's why you take notes, right? Hi, Ernesto. Yeah, when are you going to bring Beartooth? Oh, wait. She was supposed to bring something. She said she was late last time because she drove herself because she was going to bring cookies for everybody. And she didn't bring any. No. Next time. See? Next time. You heard it. Next time. What's your question, Ernesto? I'm sorry.
On number 3.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the 5?
Well, this might sound like a rude answer, but we figured it out. So we just said, okay, 3 times 4 is 12.
I mean number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Where do we get 5?
Yeah.
We took the square root of both sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? No? I know it makes you sad. We're done a few minutes early, but that's what we got then. So on next Tuesday, what chapter was that in the book again?
2.2?
2.2, right, 2.2. So I would suggest trying some problems, and if you get stuck, like she tried one, she got stuck. I think it helped you guys learn how to do a lot of things. So try some. Just pick a few. Pick some that look hard. Try them. Not super hard. Don't bite off more than you can chew, right? And always, if you get stuck, finish with one you can do. Like finish on a good note. So try some of those, and then ask on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we'll just study and help you get ready for your midterm, and that's it. Okay. All right, guys. So there's not any new homework. We're still, our book doesn't give us a lot of practice on solving equations. It's just chapter 2.2. And so we looked at the ones we should know how to do already last week, but we just need to more practice. So not everybody did them. We only did a handful. So 2.2 is some problems that you think you did that look difficult, that looks like you could do, and try them, and then we'll go over them on Tuesday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Yolanda.
Yes, sir.
Bye, Quintus Jack.
I have a question for number 2.
Yeah, what's up?
Because I realized that this is the first thing you did, right?
Yeah, you see, that should be 3 right here.
Really? Why?
And then I did it this way.
Yeah.
It gave me
That's right.
Oh, okay. So whenever
This would have been right, but that should be a 3 because you have to distribute.
So if I see an outside number here, so just the full divided.
If it goes in here, if this was like a 7, then it wouldn't
Oh,
reduce.
okay, that's true. Sorry about that first.
That's all right.
Right.
Figuring out all these things, right?
Yeah.